With the understanding that this will be my third last cigarette ever of the day, the lighter suddenly feels heavier than usual. There's definitely some shame in there. The thing you learn about shame, though, is that it's easy to rationalize away. A lot of customers at work today, got barely any time to think. I lost my day off yesterday because someone quit last minute. So in the future now, I'm gonna have to sell off most of my collection if I want to make rent next month. I've barely gotten any sleep. See? My life's hard. I'm stressed. I deserve a smoke. God, I'm gonna kill myself one of these days. Yeah, this is a time skip. I don't remember, but we were in the 80s last time. Like in the 84? Okay, that's 80s. In German, it would technically be considered the 90s. Not in time period wise, but if you like said, for example, the 2000s are like from 1900 to 1999, or was it 1901 to 2000? I don't remember actually that much. Sorry, my bad. But would it? Well, whatever. We were somewhere 84 or something along those lines. 83. I placed the freshly brewed coffee onto the tray. Alright, you ready? My coworker's amusement is palpable. Oh, I'm ready. Show me how it's done, Magic Man. I carry the tray over to the table by the window. There sits a couple that's looking way more tense than they're trying to let on. Hey guys, I grin, setting the cups down between them. An espresso for the lady and a... macchiato for the gentleman. Thanks, the woman murmurs. No problem. You guys let me know if you need anything else, okay? I wink to my coworker. See that? See the little twang I added at the end there? That's the kind of stuff that puts a cafe on the map. Ah, the twang, huh? The twang. You need to get laid, dude. Like, pronto. Don't know if you've noticed, but I'm married. To the job. You hate this job. Damn, you're right. What are you doing tonight? Sorry. Guys who date me usually put a little bit of twang in their voice when asking me out. Okay. Step on me, mommy. Die! Working on it. Interesting, so... Phew. Finally. All done. So Natsuki... Is she working with us? Was this her... Yeah, they said co-worker, so it's... Natsuki's our co-worker. Oh! She has cute clothes. Tired, old man? Always. I pull out my pack of cigarettes. Thought you said you quit. I say a lot of things. Yeah, most of it is garbage, but at least it's honest garbage. I'm not a liar, I'm just a hypocrite. Give me that! In an instant, my hand is empty. She's a fast one. This stuff killed my dad, you know. I thought you said your dad died in a car crash. He did. Drove into a wall when the doctor told him they found a growth on his lungs. Jesus. Don't worry. It's the one good thing he ever did for me. She throws my cigarettes into a nearby trash can. So, that's not how you deal with someone who has an addiction. And given that he's struggling with it, it is probably on the level of being an addiction. My place or yours? Nothing like talking about your dead dad to get you in the mood, huh? My dad's not even dead, you moron. This is what I mean when I call you a bad boyfriend. Oh, we're a boyfriend now. You never listen. 1, you've never said that. 2, I wasn't aware we were dating. 1, I never said I'd call you that to your face. 2, you're my friend and you're a boy. That makes sense. Like, in German it's a bit easier because, like, we basically just say friend and we have a feminine and masculine version. And this entire thing with, like, you have feminine and masculine versions of things is, like, can be a bit of a burden. But honestly, in cases like this, I think it's a bit beneficial because, like, yeah, otherwise you would have to say, like, sometimes when I write, it gets a bit difficult because often they look at it and I'm like, should I just say she's with her girlfriends, or should I say she's with her friends that are girls, or with the girls, or maybe like that. Depends on also usually how the character thinks, if it's a first-person narrator. But if it's a third-person narrator, I really need to think, what would be the best way of putting it now? How many friends do you have? Aw, don't you know? You're my one friend in the whole wide world. Do I have to be? Ow! Your place it is! She locks her arm with mine. What a girl. What a relationship. It's been 2 months now. And while you can rationalize most shame away, I'll admit that there's some I can't, no matter how much I try. The fact is, I still don't even know her name. And at this point, I can only hope she doesn't know mine. So we're never going to hear our name, and we're never going to really hear theirs. She lifts her head off my chest. I've got a question. Shoot. Still that room. What's your plan? My plan? People say you're a smart guy. I'm glad it's not self-evident. Shut down for 2 seconds, will you? I'm trying to be serious. Sure, I sit up. What I'm asking is, why are you still here? I bet you were an honor student. How come you're working in some dead-end coffee shop? You failed your entrance exams or something? Maybe I'm just not as good as you think I am. You're nowhere near self-conscious enough to sell me on that. Maybe I like it here? Hate to see the places you don't then. Look, what do you want me to say? Didn't know this was a touchy subject. I'm a loser, simple as that. Losers don't keep their rooms this tidy. Losers are built to disappoint you in ways you shouldn't expect. She peruses my shelf. Losers don't have this many records. Normal people have something to actually play them on. Don't worry. Nobody said you were normal. She reaches for one of the sleeves. Was it sleeves? Oh god, it's stuck. Yeah, sleeves. Still, she says, I never saw you as a collector. Maybe I'm not. Maybe if you pull out just the right one, a secret staircase leading to my secret base will reveal itself. Oh? Are you a superhero or a super villain? I don't think I'd be either. I just like having secrets. I can tell. She puts the record back. You like playing mysterious, don't you? Shame it doesn't make you anywhere near as slick as you think you are. You're the one that thinks there's more to me than there really is. Everyone is more intelligent than meets the eye. Alright then, I lean back. What about you? What's your plan? How come you're working in some dead-end coffee shop? I guess you could say I'm looking for someone. Huh? Aren't we all? OD has locked on. Rat. Took you a long time today, huh? OD. Sorry, I had a friend over, then ran into a traffic jam on the way to the library. What was that in the background? Lady friend? Yeah. Big tits? No. Big ass? No. A beggar that understands his position. Respect. Anyway, it's fine you were late. My brother asked me to help him with his marathon work. Couldn't remember how to do any of the problems though. He told me I was a waste of space. Spent a good couple of hours doing on that. Any revelations? Yeah, he had a pretty good point. I'm wasting space. There's a neat crawl space right under the stairs. I scoped it out. I could probably fit this entire computer and still have just enough room for myself. Just need to figure out the wiring. Gonna hope you're not serious. I mean, I'm already a failure. The least I can do is get out of everyone's way. They could probably earn a little more money if they rent my room out. You could get a job. Mom and Dad paid all this money for me to go to university, and now I'm waiting tables like you? Yeah, definitely improvement. They'll be real proud. Speaking of, you had your day off yesterday, right? Did you check the place out? Someone bailed. Had to cover the shift. Right. But you still checked the place out, right? You mean did I spend all day working like a jackass and then go out to the woods in the middle of the night to find some rundown building that may or may not be there? Yeah, didn't you? You did, didn't you? Yeah. And I'm supposed to be the crazy one. I never called you crazy. You think it. It's cool, don't worry. So, did you find it? Was it actually the place? There certainly was a building, and it certainly was something. Hard to say whether or not it was the place, not like either of us have ever seen a number station. But I'm willing to bet this came pretty damn close. Maybe. Obtruse bastard. Start at the beginning. I still don't know how you found it, but yeah, it was exactly where you said it'd be. Had to leave the car behind. If there was a road on that map of yours, it's long gone now, just a mass of dirt. Odd. Never heard of landslides happening around these parts. Anyway, I took the long way around. I'd say it was a half an hour of wandering on foot. My feet are still killing me. When I saw it, I was surprised nobody found it before. The thing looks way bigger than I would have imagined. It's a whole ass 2-story building. What was that thing on the map I couldn't figure out? A ravine. The building is practically right on the edge of the cliff. It was dark, so I can't tell you how deep the drop is, but I could hear water. I always heard there was a spring somewhere in the forest. I guess if the place is not a number station, it could have been used for gathering air or water quality data or something. The building definitely looked like it was broadcasting something. There was a massive antenna on the roof. You break in? That's the first odd thing. I didn't have to. The front door had already been pried open. Junkies. I don't think so. I didn't see any kind of litter or needles or boxes or anything. Honestly, if I didn't know what I was looking for, I probably wouldn't have found it. Interesting. The politicans. You think someone's looking into the same thing as we are? I'm not sure. I'll get to that in a sec. If I had to judge by how much dust there was everywhere, though, I'd say nobody had been around for a while. Any power? Nah. So dust and darkness, what else? The first room I came across was a kitchen. Between the cracked tiles and suffocation, I didn't find much. The pantry didn't have any food and the water didn't work. I checked the cupboards and drawers. No surprise, but the utensils were all gone, with the exception of teacups, I guess. People do like their tea. Interesting. It's just the way that the only thing that the thing that he couldn't find really were like Yuri's tea sets. I don't know. I don't know if this is anything that's connection worthy, but I'm But the moment I read about these teacups that were still there, for some reason, I just thought about it. Bit too much if you ask me. The rest of the first floor was mostly just a bunch of offices. The shelves and desks were all cleared out. There was some posters on the walls though. One was for the Tokyo Olympics. Would mean that the station was operational throughout the early 60s at least. Long time to be sending out coded messages. The station might have been repurposed for something else sometime after World War I. Could be Americans. I can practically smell Uncle Sam's grubby little hands. Those are your feet. I suggest washing them. Suck my massive dick. It wasn't the Americans. Why? No flag? Say what you want about them, but when it comes to military level stuff, Americans aren't amateurs. And let me tell you, the second floor setup was, well, the whole floor was basically one large, I don't even know what to call it, control room? Equipment was strewn around all over the place. It was like a daisy chain of machines connected by cabling, and I didn't even think about untangling. There was a large hole in the ceiling through which someone had passed down the wiring to the antenna above. Just a complete mess. Have it broke in before you might have done all that? No. The stuff was old, man. Like, real old. We're talking giant cathodic tubes. Some of it was attached to the walls by mold. Some of the cables were held up by moss. But my predecessor did mess around. There were a bunch of car batteries all hooked up to each individual machine. I think they were trying to power the station back on. Think they had any luck? Somehow I get the feeling they weren't any more of an expert on this stuff than I am. My guess is that they were winging it until something gave. Whether or not it did, your guess is as good as mine. One of the machines looked like it had caught fire at some point. Most of the car battery cables were chewed through by rats. The only workable piece of equipment I found was a cassette player. And in the cassette player was a tape that conveniently explained the intruder's entire plan from start to And the cassette player was a tape that conveniently explained the intruder's entire plan from start to finish. No cassette. No! In a way, though, the player did serve as a hint in its own right. It was hooked up to the rest of the contraption, which makes me think that they were using the station to send out a message of their own. Spooky. Think we came across some kind of spy thriller stuff? I don't want to get shot. But you're fine with dying in a hole under your stairs? If I die, I want to die by my own stupidity. What do you think led you there here? Fair point. Wait, I seriously haven't told you the turtle story? I shifted my seat. Not that I remember. Alright. Listen to this. This was my, I wanna say 18th birthday? Yeah, sounds about right. I'm having this party at my house and, I had a couple of people over. And we come to the gift unwrapping, right? And here's this one girl that's been a nervous wreck the entire night. She is, constantly tapping her foot. Constantly! So I think, yeah, she isn't proud of her gift. Let's just get her out of the way first to make it easier on her. So I pick her gift up and I realize for some reason the box has holes in it. And then I realize that something's moving inside. And I think, oh no. Sure enough, I pop open the cover and inside is a turtle. She got me a freaking turtle. What the fuck am I gonna do with a turtle? You shouldn't buy pets as a gift. That's for sure. That was a stupid idea. But, I play it cool. I'm what you call a smooth operator. I live smooth, I die smooth, I maintain a smooth brain. The whole smooth package. So I play it cool. Sorry about that with I maintain a smooth brain. So I play it cool. I'm like, thanks, darling. Love you. Mwah. I also make a mental note to never invite her to anything ever again. Okay, a couple of weeks pass. I decide to take care of this turtle. Put together some money, got a nice glass box, and made a whole habitat. One morning the door rings. So I open it, right? And it's the cops! They tell me, Miss, are you aware you're in possession of stolen property? And I say, no! Turns out that my genius friend stole the turtle from her class because she forgot to buy me a birthday gift. And then ratted me out to the cops because she felt like I didn't like the gift enough. I laugh. Well, she did take the effort to steal a turtle for you, come on. Fuck off. Anyway, that's the last birthday party I ever had. Never taking that risk ever again. I empty my glass of wine. Reminds me. You ever heard the one about, oh my god, Achilles and the turtle? No. It's not so bad down here. You didn't go under the stairwell. Yeah, I did. I was right. Everything fits down there. Dude, get out of there! No. This is genuinely nice. Some people just like it that way. I'm all snuggled up in my sleeping bag here next to the monitor. Got just enough room for a plate. Decent enough airflow for the computer to not overheat. How about you suffocating to death? Nah, airflow is decent enough for that too. Honestly, the thing I like the most about it is the silence. It's so quiet down here. I can't hear any cars, or whistles, or people yelling on the street, or my folks arguing, or my little brother pacing around his room. It's so quiet. I really didn't know I could enjoy silence this much. Good for you, I guess. It is good for him. Admittedly, it does have its annoying points. When you get so used to it, you start getting real sensitive to the sounds you wouldn't usually notice. Like, I think I can hear my mom talking on the phone. That's 2 rooms down. Never knew how much that woman could yap. Oh. I need my tea with my teacup. That hopefully will never end up in a number station, question mark? Honestly, at this point, I'm so focused on the sound of her voice that she doesn't even sound like mom at all. Kinda cool, but mostly annoying. I just want my peace, man. A place where everyone gets a little space. So you get it. That's what Yuri. You should try it sometime, for real. Yuri. I'm good, man. Yuri seems to be one of the starting points and one of the overarching... I wonder if she's a character that haunts the narrative. But I'm not sure. We haven't heard of her in a long time. She died in a car crash. Then Sayori was abducted and taken from us like that. I wonder if Natsuki also... Will something happen to Natsuki? She stops ahead of me. I've been thinking. Uh-oh. I've been thinking, I don't know, the most opposite of voices. I just wasn't sure who it was. I was wondering, is this like a throwback to its little space of... I've been thinking about what you've been thinking about. Oh? I want you to tell me honestly. I promise I won't get mad, okay? I figured it out a while ago anyway. I blink. I mean... When we're together... No, maybe not just then. All the time. You're thinking about someone else, right? Where's this coming from? Look, dude, I really don't mind. I'm not the jealous type, just curious. What's she like? Is it like an unrequited thing? I don't know if we want to be talking about this. Honestly, you look like you do. Desperately. Honestly, I really just want you to feel good when we're together. And I feel like there's always this wall between us. I mean, it's not that I don't get it. We're both just trying to have fun here. But there's no reason we can't treat each other as actual friends. We are friends. God, of course that'd be your response, huh? No, I'm not trying to be clever or anything. I know. That's why you're an idiot. I guess. Not being clever about it. Ah! Let me... Ah. Would imply idiocy. You love her? Yeah. She around? No. She alive? I don't know. Ah. Yeah. One of those then. Yeah. Those that have been gone missing. Is this like a familiar thing? Or is it just as in it's one of those cases where something like that happens? I scratched the back of my head. Is that how it is around here these days? Someone's always missing someone. You're exaggerating, but... You're exaggerating, but I guess, in that sense, we are kind of the same, huh? I kind of figured. And still you said nothing. Nothing to say. Gone is gone. You don't believe that. Whatever. And for the record, you didn't say anything either. That's why we're having this conversation. To show each other some, I don't know, comfort. You want my permission to call me by his... name when we're in bed or something? Ow! You're a dick! Sorry. That was a dick move. So, like... her father is the one who went missing, potentially? No, it's not. It's not a he, by the way. And, just so you know, if you wanted to call me by her name, I would have been fine with it. I believe you. Are we both missing Sayori? Like, the question is, like, Yuri was in the Literature Club. The Literature Club kind of exists. Was Sayori in the Literature Club in this universe? What about Natsuki? And if not, did Natsuki maybe still know Sayori? And what about Monica? There's absolutely been no hint of her thus far. Unless that's maybe the point. She wraps her arms around me. I'm sorry, she tells me. This was shitty of me. I shouldn't have brought this up. I get it. It's okay. Sometimes you just make this feel so damn lonely. I've been trying to hone in on the myth. The myth? Well, you know, the story. The story of the number station and the town plan. You keep hearing about religious fanatics who started building the town, but none of the books actually have a whole lot more info than that, right? But I found this book called Portrait of Markov. It's a collection of weird religious organizations that have popped up throughout Japan that has one interesting detail. It explicitly names the religious fanatics as the Blind Willow Society. The hell is a blind willow? It's a willow, and it's blind. All clear, please continue. Honestly, the name is the most normal thing about them. The society was actually founded by a French anthropologist. He and a few of his colleagues claimed to have found some disturbing prehistoric drawings in a cave system in southern France. They weren't disturbing because they showed disturbing or graphic imagery. They were disturbing because, although dated to the time of the Stone Age, the cavemen had drawn something they shouldn't have been able to. Numbers. Decimal numbers written with Arabic numerals. Needless to say, neither concept should have existed in that time. It's certainly not in that region of Europe. There were precisely two. 3867, 139. Oh god, that's the page. I keep thinking about this number because I don't really like using bookmarks. I'm pretty good at just remembering the numbers of the book that I left on. And that's currently the number I left on. 65. Hang on. This could just be people going crazy over build and pattern recognition, right? Some guy with literally half a brain draw randomly on a wall and it happened to look like numbers. Monkey on a typewriter. Happens. True. I bet that's what they thought at first too. Then they found more. One in North Africa, another in Eastern Germany, and another one in Norway. All were dated to the prehistoric times and all had the same two numbers down to the decimal. 3867 and 13965. Must have been a hoax. Most people figured it was. And when you happen to be on the fringe, the natural thing to do is to start a secret society. Blind Willow was convinced that the numbers were messages ingrained into the human collective consciousness by a higher power. The cavemen could not comprehend the concept of numbers. They saw them as shapes showing up from somewhere in the back of their mind. They felt compelled to draw them, oblivious to their purpose. The society assumed the higher power had intentionally orchestrated this to ensure that its message would stick out once humanity advanced. The grand message of two numbers. The grand message of two numbers. What do you think it means? Oh, I already figured it out, and so did you. I'm waiting. The coordinates. 3867N plus like north and 13965 east. Why is it convinced it's north and east? Why not south and west? North and west, south and east. Because 3867 north and 18965 east points to the heart of Japan. To this very town. That's how they took off in Japan. And that's why they were so taken by the number station message. God was communicating with them. Probably not God. Probably not anything, my guy. I mean, the question is, whatever we had in the prologue, whatever being that was, the question is how you define something godly, especially in Japan, where like kami, it's kind of like often translated to God, but I'm pretty sure it had like a wider meaning to it. It could be that it's some creature that could technically be considered as something godly, a deity of sorts. Come on, you're telling me some space entity got a few cavemen to draw some coordinates, set up the dominoes all nice and well, waited thousands of years, crossing its fingers it would be understood, then sent its design plan, banked on it being understood, just to build some town in the middle of Japan. Aliens are supposed to be smart, you know? But what if you can't really define as an alien? If it's something that could be considered as a deity, then it's something different. With maybe a different way of thinking as well, that we can't even comprehend. Maybe they're operating on a different logic than we are. That's, yeah. On the other hand, every human already has like a slightly different logic to us. To us. Every human has a slightly different logic. A different species would have a very different... It wouldn't be surprising for them to have a very different logic. The question is, what is the purpose behind the number station? What do they want to achieve? If they're so fucking smart you can't even call what they're doing logical, then it ain't logical. Oh. They still did it. You're supposed to be the rational one here. Why then? I don't know. How about this then? If you don't stop smoking, I'll start smoking. I slide a lighter back in my pocket. You should. It's cool. It isn't. What's cool about it? Makes you look classy and sophisticated. No, just makes you smell bad. I really don't like smoking. I don't understand. And also vaping. I don't understand either of those. Never got understood it. You smell smoke and your fingernails are turning yellow. Yeah. I have less of an appetite, protecting my perfect slim figure. Yeah, 'cause you're spending all your money on cigarettes and not on food. What about drinks? I take a drag. But you agree my figure is perfect? Downright divine. Thankfully, you've got the face of a ghoul, so it all balances out. For information, I'm as cute as a button. Even tram coats have buttons, you know? Guess I should be grateful you're into ugly dudes? Nah, I'm just into you. I take another drag. But seriously, what's the deal with you and smoking? There's no deal, it's just gross. Do I need more justification than that? Yelling at me about it won't magically make me quit. Yeah, that's not how addiction works. Like, I can say I don't like it as much as I want. If it's like a problem with like that is an addiction already, as it seems to be here, that's not going to change much of it. I'll get you to try. It'll get you to try, though. Not necessarily. But that's hard. I consider what Smoker Girl would say to that if she were here. She's probably right, though. Me? I quit when I went to college. Speaking of, when are you gonna go and do something with your life? I already forgot Smoker Girl's voice. Thanks, Smoker Girl. Well, she aged up. Maybe her voice was so raspy because she was still inhaling the smoke. Just as I'm about to bring the cigarette back to my mouth, the door to the roof winds open. It's the new girl. The happy-go-lucky high schooler that attracts customers. She's not looking too happy, though. In fact, she's downright distressed. She stammers, I need some help. One of the customers, I don't know. I don't know what's up with him. A small crowd stands gathered between the tables. Give him some space, one of the men shouts. What's wrong with him? Another demands. Probably. Has anyone called an ambulance? A woman asks. In the corner of my eye, I can see the more faint-hearted of the clientele trying to creep their way out of the cafe. This is gonna be a long day. What's wrong? I step into the crowd. It's when I finally spot the center of their attention. A man lies on the ground, huddled in a ball, shaking and bumbling. The new girl taps my shoulder. I don't know what happened. He came in, sat down, and ordered something. He looked a bit out of it, but I didn't think. I crouched next to the man. Hey, can you hear me? Hey! The man is alert. His eyes fix on me instantly. Please. His voice is cracking. Please, cut my ears off. I can't stand it anymore. Please. I don't want to hear her anymore. Schizophrenic, maybe? Everything's okay, sir. Is there someone we can call? Do I ask if he's got any medication on him? No, that's probably stupid. The man blinks rapidly. She talks in her sleep. She talks so much. She says she wants to help me. She says she'll take me to a new world. But I don't want to go. I don't know how to make her stop. Swallow my spit. Her voice is so sweet and lovely and kind. And I know she doesn't mean me any harm. She loves me. She loves all of us. But I don't know how to get her to hear me say I don't want to go. She can't hear. She's asleep. Why can't someone wake her up? Someone wake her up already, for the love of God! He grits his teeth. You don't get it, do you? She's told me things. Awful things await us. So much death, so much tragedy. The war's over, but we haven't changed. We haven't changed at all. We'll call it the most peaceful time, but the root of the disease will always stay. We can't escape it. This world is doomed. She has seen it all. Her arms are the only escape. He grabs my wrist. Please, just cut me yourself. I don't want to hear her anymore. Her melody is so beautiful. It crawls into my head and into my body. I feel it flowing through my veins. Her hands move under my skin. She's rooting herself into my muscles. It tickles. It feels perfect. I don't want it. Please, I'm begging you. I look around, not without desperation. Someone has called an ambulance, right? Nobody answers. The crowd's faces are strangely solemn. Their gaze is empty. I turn back to the man. Hey man, listen. I don't want to go to the lights. Don't take me to the lights. I don't need to be loved. I don't deserve to be loved. Just cut my ears off. Just let me die already. You good? Did an ambulance arrive? Or what happened? Yeah. Why wouldn't I be? You saw a guy have a mental breakdown right in front of you. Not really a no comment kind of situation. No comment. Could you please stop doing the thing where you try and be clever with every single thing that comes out of your mouth and actually talk to me? What do you want me to say? Guy had a breakdown. I don't fucking know what was wrong with him, and I don't want to know. It's his business. The fact that the customers were awkward about it isn't my business either. I don't own the place. I shake my head. Shit happens. People slip up. People have a bad day. If I'm gonna get fucking dramatic about it every time it happened to me, to anyone in this fucking town, you know what I'd end up doing? Damage. I'd end up doing damage. The fact that I'm not up in arms or shaking or whatever the hell you're expecting me to be doing right now just means I'm trying to be stable. You know, the same thing we're both doing when we turn a blind eye to everything going on around here. People disappearing every week? Nah, that's fine. That's fine. That's a normal thing that happens everywhere. It's so normal nobody even gives a fuck anymore. Because it's weird if you do. Because it's weird if you just keep asking what is happening. So yeah, being clever kind of works around these parts. But sorry if that's not good enough anymore either. Sorry if I'm not stupid enough then. Sorry I'm not made in the image of someone you think is the perfect guy. Sorry I smoke. Sorry I'm a skinny ghoul. Sorry I think of my missing friend. First, I want you to calm down. Then, I want you to apologize for lashing out at me like this. I was literally just asking if you were okay. I'm not apologizing. Fine. Asshole. She turns on her heel and walks away. As expected, nobody's around at this time of night, save for the tired-looking librarian. I put my things at my usual spot. With still some time to kill before getting in touch with Rat. He's literally just Rat. I slip between the bookshelves. I don't even know what I'm looking for. A distraction, I guess. I don't get her. What did she expect me to say? Fucking ridiculous. Well, people deal with it in different ways. There are people who, like... With the thing of, like, you get used to it. I have friends who have seen, like, a lot of horrible things. And they'll kill a fly and they'll be crying about it. They'll accidentally kill a fly, with that. They'll get injured and have had so much more worse injuries. And still be, like... Or like, it's painful, and sometimes start crying. Some of them are like, quick on crying more easily. Something bad could happen that has happened in the past over and over and over, and they'll still be sad about it. And like, very openly so. They don't eat it up inside of them, they just will keep doing it over and over. And actually, I used to be one of those people who like cope with humor and all of that. But it was when I started not doing that anymore, when I became just very open with my emotions, that I benefited from it. Yeah, in some eyes I'm probably a crybaby, because I cry pretty easily. But you know what? It helps me, and as long as I'm not constantly coming up to you crying and expecting you to comfort me while I never comfort you, or you're a stranger or something like that, I don't think it's any of your problem or business. I need to apologize? I never went around questioning what she did with her life, or how she acted. Never once had anything she'd said to me against her, even if I didn't like it. And this is what I get? Well, maybe she's just more open with her emotions, and maybe she's actually a bit better off like that. I don't know. I don't need this. I wanted something easy, not... Ugh. I need sleep. I need to stop thinking. I need to get out of this town and leave this all behind me. It's just what I want. It's just that what I need isn't what I want. What I want is to know. I want to know what the Blind Willow Society is supposed to be. I want to know what the number station was used for. I want to know what the lights mean. And above all, I want to know... Wait, lights. What happened with Sayori and Yuri, maybe? Or Sayori, probably. The man in the cafe mentioned the lights. I reached into my backpack and get my notebook. The strange lights were something I'd looked into for a while ago. I've never seen them for myself, but Smoker Girl was fairly convinced she'd seen them back then. A couple of other people had seen them too. They said that the lights looked like beams coming down from the sky. Almost like lightning, if lightning shot down in a straight line. Nobody ever saw the source of the lights, nor got a good look at them. They were basically just a flash in the dark. The only thing anyone clearly remembered was the color. That's where we saw the beginning. The first time we ever saw anything happen with Yuri and all of that. That was it. The light was pink. Assuming everyone was telling the truth, I looked into some kind of freak weather behavior where that look would explain it. That led down some interesting roads. In 1972, a Russian cosmonaut, Sergei was orbiting the Earth on a largely routine test mission. He claims that at one point he saw what appeared to be a bright pink light somewhere far off in the distance. He describes the experience as lasting mere seconds. At the time he was barely certain that it really happened. Moments after, though, he began picking up a strange signal. The transmission was garbled through static. To his ear it sounded like a woman's voice. Mission control trying to reach out, no doubt. Except when trying to reach back out, he found his equipment suddenly malfunctioning. It seemed like he couldn't reach back. The static woman, in the meantime, kept talking. As he continued to listen, he realized the woman wasn't speaking Russian at all. It didn't seem like she was saying any words at all. It was as if she was singing, moving her voice gently up and down. The cosmonaut became convinced it was some kind of code. Slowly, the static cleared. The woman's voice came into focus. He describes that, in that moment, he found himself oddly captivated, even if he couldn't understand any of it. And then, nothing. His radio went silent. The voice was gone. The connection to mission control worked normally again. They claimed, as the rest of the officials claimed to this day, that they hadn't picked up anything strange during Sergei's experience. Sergei himself believes that it was a moment of madness. The kind that only a man shot into space, slowly drifting above Earth and all its majesty could experience. Am I in a position to claim I know better? Back then, I certainly didn't feel like I was. Now, I don't know. The problem is the year. The earliest mention of the pink light in this area was 1986. That's what it was. That was when the disappearances started too. This story could very well not have to do with anything, but the mention of a woman's voice, which appears to be very common with like the story of. What's with M also is. Like with M, I don't remember if it was a woman's voice, but it was still singing. Something was singing. It's just another thing bringing familiar to what the guy said today. I don't know, is it just a coincidence? Let's try forming a hypothesis. We know that the Blind Willow Society believes that something out there has trying to make contact with humanity for some time. This something is sending out signals that look to us as pink beams of light. Humans can pick up the signal either through equipment, like Sergei did, or even directly, like the cavemen did. We hear it as a woman's voice. The object of this something was to get people to build this town. Sometime during World War I, a number station picked up this next stage of the plan, the literal plan of the town. The purpose of this step eludes me. What's the point of needing the town to be built in a particular way? Let's put that aside for now. So the town gets built. Now what? Well, since 1986, the lights are starting to actively be seen. People start to disappear. Put two and two together, and it's reasonable to assume that this extraterrestrial being is behind everything. It's the one causing people to disappear. But why this place? Why wait until 1986? What changes? Well, how about this? In Sergei's history, explicitly mentioned that he was not able to communicate back to the being. In other words, all the being does up until 1986 is send. It never receives back. How does it know that humanity followed its instructions? Unless there is a way to establish communication. And someone in 1986 managed to find it. The number station. The person who'd broken in before me did so in 1986. They reactivated and modified the station to send a signal back. They might have heard the voice themselves and deciphered what it was trying to say. That's it, isn't it? What Sergei heard must have been instructions on how to respond. The being pinged. We ponged back. We said we were ready to be taken. And from that point on, it wasn't just intermittent communication. They are here. They're talking to us. Previous use of code kept the messages short, useful for long distance. They're probably speaking in proper Japanese now that they're close. After all, they'd know what the right language to use is, wouldn't they? They know where they built their town. Driving us mad, like the guy at the cafe, trying to convince us to go to their world. The lights aren't just transmissions anymore either. It's how they take us. That's what that man said, isn't it? Don't take me to the lights. Stop. Just stop. You need rest, dude. I'm not trying to be a dick. I'm not trying to make jokes. I'm genuinely trying to help you now. Alright? You need to sleep. Oh, come on! This is it! No, it isn't. You are literally bashing this from one guy's delirious state. Like, okay, fine. If you want to discuss it, that's cool and all, but sleep it off first. Go be with that piece of small ass you have if you can't tuck yourself in. I'm being serious here. I know you are. That's what scares me. I'm the one you're scared of here? Surely a part of you must see how you're sounding right now. Yes, I'm aware, but when you take everything into account, it adds up. That's the problem. You're taking everything into account. You're making connections where there aren't necessarily any. But it fits. Because you want it to. And you don't. Heard you out. Understand what you're saying. Just take a nap or something and we can talk tomorrow. You're choosing to ignore me. Okay, so how are you not the least bit concerned? What do you want me to do? Let's say everything you just told me is right. What am I supposed to do? Call up the Prime Minister? Get the army involved? If they're taking things with light, what is an army gonna do? Like, it's obviously, we have never seen or been confirmed that it's actually like a physical being. I'm currently writing on something that's like also made out of, like, that's also a being that doesn't have a physical form. It's made out of kind of like zeros and ones, like code, once again. But it's learning how to use electricity to also like develop a nerve system and stuff like that. I don't really know how to describe it. But at the beginning it doesn't really have a physical body. Like, how are you going to fight something that potentially doesn't have a body or anything of the sorts? Leave! Get your parents, your brother, and get out of town! Where am I gonna go? Anywhere! You know what staying means? Okay, think about this. That guy from the coffee today, he resisted the voice, and it looked like he was resisting real hard. What about the people who don't? What if half the town is actually under this thing's influence? What if that's the reason the investigations don't go anywhere? Why everyone's suddenly just fine with people going missing? People aren't fine with it, man. You think people out there aren't as upset or crying or fucked up as you are? You think living here is easy for anyone? You think my family doesn't want to leave? You think they put all that money for me so I can come back from Tokyo and rot here? You think staying here is what they want for my brother? If we fucking could, we would leave this place in a heartbeat. But guess what? It's not that fucking easy to just go anywhere. I'm sorry. You want me to talk about your theory? Fine. How did these aliens of yours know that we could go on to use Arabic numbers? Can they see into the future? Did they influence that too? How did they know the coordinate system we would go on to invent? Why, if their influence is so big, did they focus on one small Japanese town in the middle of nowhere? Because last I checked, this shit isn't happening anywhere else that we know of. It's one small Japanese town. Not entirety of Japan, not anywhere in the world. I wonder. That we know of. Don't fuck with me now. I've been at this for years, and this is the only place. The only place. What makes us so special? What makes a guy like me worth taking? I'm sitting in a crawl space crying every day for hours in shame, embarrassment, and my own filth. I can't even open the fucking door anymore. I can't remember the last time I went to get groceries. I think at some point they just stopped asking me to go. What's the point, right? Why shouldn't they give up if I gave up on myself? The only person I've got the balls to talk to is a guy I've never met and who I'm watching go crazy in real time. Truly, we're prime specimens here. Like the Earth's finest for our dear aliens. You know you're a nice guy. I like talking to you. I genuinely do. I bet that girl of yours likes you too. Yet, here you are spending every waking moment of your life thinking about one that isn't even here. Wanna know where she is? Okay, let's come up with an answer. She ran away. That's an answer, right? Where is she now? Living the high life somewhere in Tokyo, happy and content. Why did she run away? I don't know. Her parents? Her classmates? Hell, you can even blame yourself if you want. But there you go. Those are your answers. Right now, just believe that I'm the smartest being in this universe and that I'm handing you this on a silver platter. Just take it and get some sleep. We're going to sleep. I'm thinking right now about the dream we had early on. How that blends into everything. A being you don't know. A person you don't know. It has the appearance of a person. It appears to be a man calling your name. I wonder how that blends into everything. So, are you gonna say anything or just keep staring at the sky? Because isn't how I interpreted to spend my day off. I run my fingertips through my hair. I don't know what you see in me. I genuinely cannot think of a single thing you or anyone else could like about me. I have nothing I'm looking forward to in life. No goals, no interests. On the off chance I do want something, I want it cruelly, selfishly. I spent the last 8 years chasing a ghost. I I don't know how to do anything else. I'm starting to cross a very dangerous line. It scares me, and I think it will scare anyone else who still even remotely cares about me. I think you see it in me. I think you've already seen it in me, and still wanted to be close to me. I can't remember a single story you ever told me. I can't name a single thing you're interested in. I'm not even sure if you mentioned you were born here or not. I laugh. You know, I don't even remember your name, right? I'm not sure I ever even saw you as a person. You were convenient. You were easy. Stop this. I think I wanted to punish you when I realized you actually like me. Because you're entrenched on something that I felt nobody else had the right to but her. A sick part of me probably liked needling at you and wearing you down. Seeing when your patience with me would break. Please stop! Do you know the one thing I've thought about for the past 8 years? The one thing that sticks with me every time the world gets silent? I think about her being in some deep dark room, naked, beaten, crying, raped day in and day out by some bastard. I think about what must go through her head. About the days when she could smile, ask myself if she thinks about me, if any happy memories of us are still in there. I think about how she was born, how she smiled as a baby, how she was raised by her parents to be a happy little girl, how she eventually got dealt an unfair hand and something broke in her brain, how she grinned and bared it in spite of it, how she tried to be happy regardless, and how in spite of all that, someone somewhere at some point in time made her vanish. And nobody cared. Know what I think about then? I try and cheer myself up. I tell myself I'm wrong, that she's still out there, that she's eventually found someone who could make her happy in a way I never could, who could answer all her questions right, who could comfort her and hold her tight every night and pat her head as she cried until finally, she could have a good night's rest. I tell myself that I was the reason she left, that it was my fault, that I have to be better, that I have the power to be better, that someday we'll meet again and she'll get to see the kind of man I've become and to be just a little proud and forgive me. But it's a lie. It always is. I know she's gone. I know it. So the only thing I can do before I die is understand why. And maybe, if I'm lucky, find what's left of her. Even if I have no right to. Even if trying to make me the most... I would really like to read what was said. If trying makes me the most pathetic person in the whole world. Shut up already! So Red has locked on. In a while. A month isn't that long. Longer than I'm used to seeing your sultry keystrokes then. Joking aside, I was kinda getting worried for you. Yeah, sorry. Just had to think some stuff over, I guess. Long nap you took there. Something like that. And off to cuddle with that girl of yours? That ended before I gave myself a chance to sleep it off. She's better off without me anyway. Anyone ever tell you you're dramatic? Well, whatever. I'll take your word for it. Meanwhile, I'm in the crawl space. But I've been up and about the house. Little brother asked me to, actually. I kind of feel bad for him. My folks have been coming home pretty late recently. Pretty sure they've been going to a hotel. I've even seen rumors about swinger parties happening over town. This morning, and she just kinda looked disgusted the moment she saw me. I guess little bro isn't the only one I should feel bad for. But you know what? It's okay. I get it. Life gets tough. You need a break. The deadbeat son is living under the stairs for crying out loud. Maybe some of my decisions backfired. There's upsides too, actually. Actually, talking with my brother. It's nice for us two to just talk for a change. He's a pretty cool kid. Can't do math for shit, but cool. Funny little man. Last night he told me all about his girl troubles. Told him I got a buddy who's got it way worse than him. How are you feeling? I'm fine.